Bulavinaka, Malolele, a very warm welcome to the Pacific Way. Before the arrival of the outboard engine, Pacific Islanders rowed their way from island to island and across the vast Pacific. In Tuvalu, in spite of modern boats, people there have maintained the age-old tradition of their own canoes. Today, many people still prefer to travel in canoes and hail them as the safest mode of transport that ever existed. Here is Tuvalu's canoe legacy.
Canoes have been in existence in the Pacific for thousands of years. It was the only mode of transportation of the South Seas Islanders until the late 18th century. Canoes are well known for their use in tribal wars and invasion between the islands in the Pacific. With the introduction of modern boats, the art of building canoes is slowly fading away, as Pacific Islanders now prefer faster and fancier vessels. However, there are attempts by some islands in the Pacific to revive the tradition of canoe building and transfer the knowledge to their younger generation. Tuvalu is one island in the Pacific still continues to use canoes. Canoes have existed on this small island state more than 2,000 years ago. Formerly the Ellis Island, Western navigators referred to this archipelago as the Lagoon Islands. Tuvalu is a group of 9 small low-lying islands and atolls. They lie in the northwest-southeast chain stretching over 250 square kilometers, 645 square kilometers north of Fiji. Funafuti, the capital, Nanumea, Nanumanga, Newtau, Nui, Vaitupu, Nukufetau, Nukulailai, and New Lakita. It is a general belief that early ancestors came mostly from Samoa, possibly by way of Tokelau, while others came from Tonga and Uvea, now the Wallis Island. These settlers were all Polynesians with the exception of Nui, where people were descendants of Micronesians from Kiribati.
Then he went to Samoa, lived there.
History tells that the first man, a Polynesian, to set foot on Tuvalu did not arrive on a canoe. This is the story passed on from generation to generation.
So they said that he used to go not a canoe, but coconut leaf. He traveled, maybe, I don't know. I don't know whether I believe that or not. But that's what a tale my father used to tell me.
The Vea is originally from Nanumea Island, which is also home to some of Tuvalu's traditional canoe builders.
The elder people told us young people, when someone come from Nanumanga want to come to Nanumea, the Nanumea people will put a huge fire at night time, so that those people who are traveling, coming to Nanumea, know that's Nanumea. It was very near, 30 to 40 miles.
In Tuvalu, canoes are commonly used for fishing. A survey by the Tuvalu Fisheries Department in 2000 showed 125 boats and 104 canoes on Funafuti alone. In 1991, there were 200 motorized small fishing and 500 non-motorized canoes. In 1987, about 100 paddling canoes were built for the outer islands in Tuvalu. Although modern boats have been introduced to the islands, many Tuvaluans still prefer canoes.
Speedboat, if something wrong with the engine, you will be in trouble when you are far away from the island. But the canoe, it's okay, you can paddle easily to the island.
Canoe building is still being cherished by Tuvaluans who would like to see the tradition passed on to the younger generation. Modern tools have made canoe building a much easier task compared to the use of traditional tools. In the old days, giant clamshells were used in canoe building.
That one shape square in the front and cut a little bit that way. and then they tied with a suitable handle out of timber.
Nowadays, metal blades and carpentry machines are used. There are many different types of canoes in the Pacific. In Tuvalu, they are determined by their shapes and style. People could even tell the origin of the canoes and the island it is peculiar to, like this extra carving on the front tip of the canoe.
Without this.
What's so special about this?
The special about this is fancy, very fancy. Yeah? It's, if you look at it now, it's very, you know. But the other use of it, when you tie a rope here, see, this one won't make the rope slip away. Yeah? I know very well that this canoe made from Nuktau, Mukulailai, you know, and Funafrica, I know their style. This is the, if I look at this canoe, this Nuktau style. This is a Gilbertese way of making their float. They used like that. They tied a stick like this to the outriggers and tied together with the float.
Timber from the fetau tree, scientifically known as Calopilum inopilum, makes the best canoe in Tuvalu. It grows mostly on the coastlines. Fetau timber is strong and floats well in water. It can also last up to 30 years if maintained well. All canoe floaters are from the pua tree or Getarda speciosa, also known as uli in Tuvalu. In Fiji, it's called vau. This is because of its excellent buoyancy in water. Canoes are also fitted with components like this, which holds baskets and other items. In the old days, string made out of coconut fiber is used to tie the pieces together. Tuvaluans call it kolo and kafa, depending on the strength. Nowadays, the islanders use nylon strings.
Nylon, you know, when something, say, scratch the nylon, then it breaks, you know. Nylon is always contact with the sun, and it's very easy to break, get rotten.
Canoes are also fitted with seats for the user's comfort. Canoe hulls are either round, oval or V-shaped depending on the owner's choice for flotation and speed. V-shaped hulls are called takanu. They are the most popular in the whole of Tuvalu and are built by a special clan.
This type of making is very easy to pedal. See? Either than to make a round one, just the whole canoe. It's a bit hard to pedal.
There have been attempts in some parts of the Pacific to sustain the knowledge of canoe building through lifelong learning, a concept introduced by the World Bank. In Tuvalu, the elders are trying to preserve the knowledge of canoe building and pass them on to the younger generation. When Tuvaluans built canoes, the men would wear traditional attire and chant. This tradition has continued for thousands of years and is still being practiced today.
We can't, leave behind our traditional way of, making canoe because we like it.
Tuvaluans go out fishing in canoes. Some continue to use paddles while others have their outboards. But for Veveu, he still likes to paddle.
Some people now, because we like the modern way of life. Yeah? Also, you don't have to paddle. Just sit on the boat, move to where you like to go. But the canoe, you paddle bit by bit.
Today, Tuvaluans are beginning to build canoes with milled timber, plywood and corrugated iron. The elders of Tuvalu believe that canoes made of modern materials aren't safe at sea. They still believe that although it takes 2 to 3 months to build a canoe out of fetau, it's still a stronger timber. There is documentation of a few cases of plywood skiffs breaking up at sea.
Canoe made of fetau is better than plywood. But plywood nowadays, people like to make their canoe out of plywood, which goes very easy to make the canoe. I have seen one canoe at Nanumea made of plywood. This old man, capsized the canoe in the ocean, and he can't, because of this one shark came against his canoe, and so the canoe get capsized. And like this old man, there was a fishing boat came around near him, and then they picked him up with it.
Canoes are also increasingly becoming a source of revenue for many Tuvaluans. The trade is a lucrative one, as many Tuvaluans now prefer canoes to modern boats. Canoes are sold from $500 to over $1,000 depending on the style and the quality of timber used. Canoes are symbolic to the Tuvaluan culture and significant in its history. It is an ancestral gift and a valued skill, highly valued. In 1942, when a group of American aviators led by Lieutenant Eddie Rickenbacker crashed in the high seas of Tuvalu, the villagers of Nukufetau Island rescued the men with canoes and brought them to safety. Today, there is still fear among the elders that the tradition of canoe building with the use of local trees could fade away if no effort is made to sustain the knowledge through to the next generations. And considered effort is the key to sustaining the knowledge and skill of canoe building on the small Pacific island state.
Welcome back. You're watching The Pacific Way. The Melanesian Arts and Culture Festival was born out of a need to preserve the Melanesian culture in a global village. Participating countries are Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands, Vanuatu, New Caledonia, and Fiji. The fourth festival was held in New Caledonia in 2010 and, true to its objectives, captured and promoted the essence of arts, crafts, and dances known to these countries. Enjoy this performance by popular Fiji musicians Seru Serevi and Laisa Vulakoro, who wooed the crowd with their entertaining performance of Fiji's music, as we build momentum to the fifth festival to be held in Papua New Guinea in June this year.
Yes, we actually put this band together especially for this trip. A mix of professional musicians from Seru, around Seru, people that we've worked together over the years, and students of Fiji National University. So we managed to put this band together, 9 of us all together, in fact, with Laisa and me leading the team. We've worked together over the years, and it's easy to get along.
were required to perform our own original songs. So between the two of us, we have close to 200 original songs, and some of them are hits that the whole of the Pacific, they play in all their countries, and a lot of the people that are here today, they all know about our songs because we've toured most of the Melanesian countries, all of them. And we're very proud to perform it on this stage at this festival.
I've been experiencing a traditional chant with contemporary, modern music since 1991, when I put out an album, then called Aivol Toso, Pusira. Yeah. So that's actually what I've been doing over the years. Even though I stopped in 1999, I haven't recorded since because of copyright law and a lack of good recording facilities, etc. For a couple of reasons.
Too many pirates.
Too many pirates. But I really want to record it. Maybe I go back home now and think about. I got about 30. I've written more than 30 songs ready to be recorded. So I hope to meet hopefully a good studio and go out and record.
Most of my songs that I sang today was about all the different places that I've performed in, places that I love, Sabu and Lambasa, and of course the Chula and Hanahana from Nanranga. Most of the songs are the experiences we go through, and we put them together, and some of my songs, like Seru said, also have chants in them. Like we've been doing that for a very, very long time, since the 80s and 90s. And like Seru, I would like to also record. When we go back, I've also got a whole lot of new songs that I've been writing. And this kind of festival is good inspiration to write more music, especially when you share with other cultures and your Melanesian brothers and sisters here, and you listen to their style of music. You pick up some things that inspire you, that you want to incorporate together with your next new album.
Just in addition, you mentioned earlier about copyright and piracy. I guess that's one of the big challenges that composers and musicians face in this world today. How do we go around, or how do we, try and solve this big problem?
But then again, what we need is the teeth to bite, or enforcement of the law. We can have all the laws in the world, but if they are not enforced, then it becomes just just a paper. So we hoping that hopefully the police will wake up and they are given the authority to enforce the laws. That's all we ask: enforce the law.
They really need to muscle up and go for these pirates, because they're the ones that are killing our creativity. They're killing our livelihood.
We're here at the 4th Melanesian Arts Festival in New Caledonia. Maybe you'd like to talk about your experience, and you'll be part of the Fiji delegation.
Yeah, we are proud and honored to represent Fiji. We're happy that we've been chosen. As every time before we go on stage, I stress to the boys that we're here as ambassadors of Fiji, and we need to keep the good name of Fiji, and we need to go and work there, not for us, not for Laisa, not for Seru. We're here for Fiji.
One, two. Well, I'm grateful for the selectors that selected us to represent Fiji to this festival. It's actually my first official assignment to perform at the Melanesian Arts Festival. My first. Seru's been a few times, but for me it's my first time, and I'm very, very happy. At least I'm getting on in life, and I have this chance to represent Fiji with our young people, especially the two kids from the Fiji National University. We're very proud of the fact that we can represent Fiji and share our music with all our Melanesian brothers and sisters here. It's a great experience. Thank you very much.
Like all Pacific people are very shy, but you just need that little bit push and they'll come out, jump out of their skin like they did today. Like any other work, when you're good at it, you'll never run out of work. You know, do whatever you do, sky's the limit, put your heart into it, and you will be rewarded.
If you have the passion for music and the love for it, just go for it. Don't let anything or anybody stop you. And you just play from the heart and write, create from the heart, and I think you just reach for the stars and you'll get it. And people can feel you. When you perform anywhere, they'll come because you're doing it from the heart and for the love of music.
We hope you've enjoyed tonight's show and the amazing and skillful talent of Pacific Islanders. Remember, to find out more about the show, check us out on Facebook or on YouTube. We'd love to hear from you. Have a great rest of the week. Until next time, tofa, kakite ano, and goodbye.